of the amount of wastewater they produce and the amount of wastewater we use, that if we need the excess capacity because we can't take it, we have to store it, we have to have that tank.
Well, it's twofold. It's A, confirming, reviewing ownership of the existing tank, because there's only one back there, and if they ever shut it down,
There's two back there, a 6 million and a 2 million.
they're not interconnected, to my knowledge right now. Like, if we had to do a bypass and they had to take one out of service to do repairs on it.
Understanding they were connected, and they float on each other. Almost positive of
I could
that.
be wrong, but my point is, with this, we got to do a little bit more homework on this one. This is Bill probably coming.
Well, this would be one that would be a bond issue anyway,
Yes,
SRF.
it'd be SRF.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Clarification.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Come correct me if I'm wrong, which I probably
Yes.
am.
Bill Shaw, Gateway CDD Utility Director. The 2 million and the 6 million are tied together. The issue is the wells only go to the 2 million.
That's what
Okay,
it is.
now that would make sense, because that was the initial tank.
Yes, and if we had to take the 2 million out of service for something, we could pull out of the 6 million, but we have no way to get our wells into it to supplement the,
We don't have
Extra.
we don't have a bypass pipe.
yeah.
That's close.
So that brings the question of, you do the 2 million gallon tank, I would think that we would have to put in bypass piping. At that time, we'd put an interconnect to all three tanks. To any one of them can go out of service, and you don't lose the well capacity.
Yeah, we only have there's only 2 tanks. I don't know what the third, they have.
That's what we're talking about, another 2
Oh,
million.
if we were to make another
If
tank,
we,
yes.
yeah, if we put in another 2 million gallon tank, somewhere out there, we got to be able to have flow from the wells to any one
Yes,
or all
we would-
three tanks.
We would valve so we could divert
Yes.
to the wells.
Yeah.
And we briefly had a discussion with Lee County a year and a half ago
Yep.
about, what that would look like if we weren't to get another tank, and how would we divert into the 6 million gallon tank as well, so.
Somebody needs to be crunching some numbers to determine where are we at on water produced, wastewater produced that turns into irrigation water versus our demand. Do we even have a storage problem? The answer to me would probably be yes. In the
Yes, we do.
summertime, when it's raining, you don't use the water.
We always use more than we get from the plant.
So we supplement it,
We always supplement.
even in the rain period.
In the rainy period, we get closer to a 50-50, but most of the times we're 60-40, 65-35. Wells.
Oh, well to
Wells greater
wastewater?
than the wastewater.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we need to really be on top of those numbers.
Yes, we have them every month.
Because that agreement we've got's got a clause in it that we don't allow one drop of water. We have to use every drop of water.
Yes. Oh, we
Is that why we're always putting it on the street?
That's why we put it on the streets. Yeah.
by far use every drop of water,
Handsome.
so.
Okay.
So, Bill, you guys have looked through all of these. In the chart that's up there now, you guys have looked through all of these, and you are comfortable with asking for the particular ones in the fiscal year 2027 column?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything of those amounts, if we had to kick something back, that you would rather see kicked back to 2028 as opposed to 27?
You can be deferred.
Deferred, thank you.
The crane truck is the only thing. Because that's a shared cost. That would be a shared cost between utilities and public works, so.
Where do you see that? Oh, down on
Halfway
550?
down.
Crane
Yeah.
truck? Okay.
Crane truck,
Well, there's-
90,000.
Yep. So there's 90K in utilities and 90K in public works. We have the old one, which we've put a little bit of money into it and we're milking it. Yeah, would we like to trade it, to get a new one? Yeah, but we can,
It's serving its purpose
Yeah.
at this moment, and.
Okay.
And, I mean, really, all it costs us is the insurance and operate.
And yeah, the annual inspection, fuel, it's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
So when we say capital on
So
these,
is there anything in the 27 column that if things get tight and we have to
we could
defer some stuff, what would you suggest?
We could push the Tundra.
Come back to a mic. Zoom in for him.
That's the 2019 Toyota.
Yeah,
One of them.
That's the 55,000?
yeah, one of them.
Okay,
I mean, we really can't push lift station rehabs. We need to be doing 2 of those a year, so they're on a 15-year cycle.
We don't want to mess with that.
And then,
and Chelsea said that the crane truck, maybe.
the crane truck, you could definitely push. Insertion valves,
That is contingent upon,
that's contingent on getting some grant funding,
so we have to have our
Hopefully
25%
so.
match.
you know.
Okay.
And the majority of the utility items are, because we have a handful of grant applications in, I was going to tell you guys at 3 o'clock, but we did just get notice of award of a $200,000 grant for generators. We only have to put up 65,000. So we got to make sure on the ones that we applied for that we have our match somewhere. So a lot of these are that, and regardless if we don't spend it, it'll just roll back into the pot.
So when we say capital, does that mean that we're doing a one-time payment for that out of cash that comes in through revenue and assessments?
Yes, unless it's yes,
I believe
yes.
that's how
Because otherwise it would be a bond.
SRF loan,
Yeah.
SRF
Yeah.
loan.
Okay, so all of these things that say capital and the dollars associated with them, we're going to generate via our rates.
Yes.
Okay. And there's no reason to debt finance those? Like say for a truck for 5 years, get a 5-year payment deal?
You're going to spend 7% or 6%
Interest.
interest on a bond. And the rates that we get on trucks are the state rates, which are already extremely discounted.
I know
spend-
we looked at that, doing like the, making payments on them versus, I mean, if we do go through the purchase process, instead of buying it outright, if we do it like over 5 years, they only, it's really dumb, but they only allow you to make one payment a year, so the interest is crazy. It ends up costing us more.
Okay, so if we go down to the bottom, scroll it up just a little bit. We go to the bottom, meter replacement, 6,812,500. That's not a cash deal.
No, it says
That's an
SRF.
amortized cost.
That's SRF.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we're going to borrow, but we're only paying a fraction of that for a 40-year loan.
Correct, but that's the amount that's gonna hit the budget line next year. So, but we'll get reimbursed from SRF and then pay that back through P&I.
And will that project be completely done by next budget year? The end of next budget?
End of calendar
End
year.
of next year,
end of next fiscal year.
Yes,
2027. Because we still have all the
So
meters to install.
September,
of 2027.
October of '27.
Probably sooner,
done.
probably sooner. We have to have our kickoff meeting with the meter company. But most likely sooner, but worst case scenario, we got to put the money in the budget because we are going to have expenses next year.
There was an email today that noted the calendar year, but
We're aiming by the end of the calendar year, but worst case scenario with punch list and technology, end of next fiscal.
Anybody have any other questions on this table here?
This is utilities.
Let's go.
And once we get the meters in, what if there is a household that has been paying, I don't know, $100 a month for the last N number of years for their water, basically? And now with the new meter, we see $200 a month. Is there any way we can ramp those people up or not have sticker shock or something?
It'd be based on their usage. So the rates, I mean, the rates are per the fee schedule, but
Well, I'm saying,
The
what
inference
if
is the
the old
usage is
meter
bogus.
wasn't working right?
so we have policies in place if they wanted to, the contractor's required to keep the new meters. We're going to keep them for I think 90 days is what we put in the contract. That way, in the event anything happens, we've got at least one bill cycle's worth of any hiccups. So if we have to do a
Okay.
bench test, we can do a bench test, and then we have policies that say, this is a formula how you do this.
Okay, good. We have something in place.
Yes, ma'am.
All the
I
meters
mean, they
that,
keep the old meters for 90 days.
Yes.
Okay, you said new meters.
Sorry, the old
Okay, no
meters.
problem, no.
what kind of percentage, because I'm seeing, obviously, they're putting in the meters, boxes right now in Gateway Greens, including the irrigation boxes. I've got 53 of them. I noticed a drastic reduction in water usage in the last 2-month pay period. Drastic.
It's probably because you were.
Was this a
went
guess
to the
reading?
1 day a week watering schedule.
I told them to compensate by that by turning up the runtime. But that, I haven't got an answer back as to what the issue is, but these are some major zones. I was wondering if it was because these aren't meter readings, they were guesstimates.
We'd have to look at, you'd have to
And if
call
they're
Vicky and
guesstimates, am I going to
Leslie.
get a sticker shock next month when it comes in double the price?
You'll have to call Vicky and Leslie and they can pull those accounts and we can look at those
Because I've been
individually.
getting accounts that had negative numbers. I had this time out of 53, 15 of them were negative. Like $82 negative, $70 negative.
Well, no, on that one, you got your deposit back on all of your accounts.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
I didn't tell anybody over there they'd want to spend it on something else. Okay. Okay, thanks.
That's what it was.
Okay, next screen then.
All right.
You want to stick around, Bill? Public Works.
If I'm needed.
No, you're good.
All right, I'll be, if I need it, just call.
Nothing
I'll be right back.
until we get
Thanks,
to
Bill.
here, so I'll just scroll there. That's the first item that had
Okay,
dollars in
so
it.
when you have in the bond column, where you say new bond, it's not actually a new bond for new money, it's rearrangement of items in the existing bond that we're working on, the 2023 bond, right?
No, ma'am. No.
No.
It would be an entirely new bond.
Not a request to spend what's left in the bond.
Correct.
It's a new bond.
New supplemental trust indenture.
And that would be why? Because it wasn't allocated in the old one?
Because when we validated the 55 million, on the first borrowing of the supplemental trust indenture, we said we were going to borrow $13 million. And in that engineer's report, we said we're going to do $13 million and we're going to do these specific projects. We have pretty much finished those projects. So on here, if you see it say bond, bond means the old bond, the 2023 bond. If it says new bond, that would be new borrowings, new money from that bond validation.
But from the 2023 bond valid, no.
No.
New borrowings.
But would we have to get a new validation?
No,
Okay.
As
That's
long
the
as long as
thing.
we haven't hit that cap,
correct,
all the debt that was validated, then we have whatever room's left.
correct. So
For the
we
purposes
borrowed
outlined.
13 million of 55, new bond, you would have to borrow new money of the 55 million.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to
Yes.
earlier.
Okay.
It's a part of the 55,
Yes.
but it has not yet been approved to be
You haven't borrowed it.
borrowed.
It's a new
Okay,
bond issue, new series of bonds.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
And for Doug Banks is online.
So that could be hi Doug, that could be a continuation. Continuation of the spending of the money that was on that bond, not requiring any other validations or anything.
Correct.
Within
Well,
the
you would,
within the parameters of the projects.
yes.
Yes.
And you can move within categories, but you have the various listed projects and the categories of interest.
The only exception would be if we had a project that was not described in the original, then that would not be eligible for the new without getting approval.
Looking at the majority of the projects that we have under here, under new bond, these would all fall under that master trust.
The description of the
They're all,
project.
in other words, they're all eligible.
Based on my review, that would be, we'd have to have
Yeah,
bond
bond counsel
counsel.
double check that.
Bond counsel to double check, but yes, they are of like sidewalks and shared use paths. We
And
have
Pond banks are pond banks.
We have sidewalks and shared use paths.
Yep. So that sheet that I put together, that showed the master trust indenture with the 55 million, and then what we took out for the 2023 series, and then whatever was left, that whatever is left is what we would, that would be available for the new bond.
So we're looking at, just add these real quick, like 3, 3.5, $4 million of new bond borrowing?
We have a total at the bottom. Yep.
Probably not on this page, but
And we even identified it per category.
it's on the summary page.
Any questions from anybody on this
How do
one?
you differentiate if we get to the new bond? Who's paying for it, 01, 02, or whatever? Or do we try to differentiate
I
that?
think there's another column here that shows what the funding methodology is.
So if you took out a new series of bond under the master trust indenture, that's based off of the old bond series. Now, Tony, you're gonna have to chime in.
Whatever the methodology was utilized for that bond issue in the master trust, and that's what would be utilized.
So it goes back to the old validation or
the
the
old
old
methodology.
methodology?
If the old methodology was the one that was utilized in the initial validation, yes.
That's going to get interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be fun for
Any-
changing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, looking at it, we got $300,000 that'll hit Pelican out of what, 8 million or something, 6 million? How
So-
much is the Pelican residents to be on the hook for?
So that, Tony, is a good point that we'd have to pull the string on a little bit, is Pelican did not pay any Parks and Rec under the old methodology.
You have to go back, again, once again, you have a methodology, you went through a public hearing process, you allocated debt based upon that methodology, and you have to go back to the assessment methodology change, and then probably back to the bond.
But there's no parks on this here, what I'm looking at in front of me.
No, that's coming next.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, so for this piece of the pie, what I'm trying to get at is what is going to be the proportion of the total used that is ascribed to Pelican? And is that the only portion they'll be responsible for?
We hadn't got that far yet. We
Okay.
just started with identifying the projects, and if you nix the projects, or if you say, these are the viable ones we want to proceed with, we'll do that
Yeah.
as the next step.
And depending on how that comes out, I mean, well, never mind. Tree line skywalk is not a Pelican item anymore under the new methodology. That's why, but under the old, it was.
Correct.
If you want to use a different methodology than the one that was part of that validation process and the validation of the 55 million, you'd have to, at a minimum, go through the public hearing process, opportunities for objection. And the question is whether or not that could be done without having to go back to a validation process. But you'd probably at least need to consent to the bondholders. I mean, that's something we can talk with Pedro about.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
We wanted to start with just identifying projects, and then, because I don't want to waste anybody's time if you guys nix the whole concept.
Okay, and are you fairly comfortable with 300,000?
Yes, those numbers did come from Tetra Tech. And that,
And it has some wiggle room in it too, so.
let me preface, it's an order of magnitude number, so it's a little high, but that number did come from them.
Yeah, that's 1,300 feet, $300,000. What is that? That's $250 a foot for a frickin' sidewalk?
8-foot
Well,
wide sidewalk.
It says it,
It's a
Multimodal.
multi-use, so it's a little
Multimodal.
wider.
Well, I understand, it's 8 feet.
But still, it's-
It's a lot of money still.
Absolutely.
But it is sorely needed, so.
Okay, anything else on this one? Not, let's go to the next one. Here's your Parks and Rec.
Okay, so Tony,
Yes, ma'am.
on Parks and Rec, under the bond capital SRF or grant column, where it says new bond, what is Pelican's part of that cost? So I'll just take playground equipment in Sherman, new bond, 300,000.
Well, zero
is
if it's
it-
the old request, if it's the old methodology.
Is it the old methodology where
I don't know.
Pelican
Yeah.
paid nothing? Or is it the new one where we pay
15%.
0.15?
I don't know, you're contemplating using the last set of validated bonds? Remember, we had the revised methodology?
So this to pull the string, and again, I didn't want to get the cart before the horse on the projects, but this was going to be a question I was going to try to set up a call with you and Pedro is, I'm going to run through a hypothetical real quick with you guys.
I would
So-
think Russ Wire needs to be involved in this
Well,
too.
so the funding mechanism, so if the project is approved under the current methodology and the board says, these are viable projects and Parks and Rec is $3 million and Pelican's proportionate share is
Some number, right?
whatever the number is
0.15.
of that. So
Right.
let's 60,000, let's just say $60,000. Can this board say, okay, for 001 expenses, their proportionate share of that, we're going to use the 2023 bond series. Pelican,
That methodology for the,
say, in their borrowings of that, their portion of that project, so the whatever number is, say, okay, they're going to borrow under the 2023 bond series, and then that's going to be split with that methodology, whatever it is. Pelican, you're 60,000, do you want to take a short-term bank loan, or do you want to assess it or pull from reserves? Does that make sense?
And not participate in the bond.
And not participate in the bond, because you can't participate in the bond because you're not paying as
you
part of
can't
the
be
old method.
required to help, right,
Yes.
because if it was under the old methodology.
Yes. So we look at it as a funding mechanism instead.
We had the one bond issue, we had two series of bonds,
Yes.
the Gateway bonds and the Pelican Reserve bonds.
Pelican maximized theirs.
Okay, and that, I'm trying to think, the methodology for that was.
It was only certain categories.
No, but I think the methodology that was the old methodology,
Yes.
right, okay. But when we did that, we validated, again, that methodology that applied a certain benefit to Pelican Reserve for certain infrastructure.
Well, that's $6 million there in Commons Park, field lights and lights at Pool. A lot of that's way up in the air right now, depending on a lot of stuff to happen.
Absolutely.
A lot of stuff that has to happen.
Well, for this discussion, we're going to act like we're going to do it all.
At least it's itemized.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I think what we need to do is have a call with Chelsea, me, bond counsel, and Russ to really outline what funding sources are contemplated, what the funding sources are indicated to be utilized for, and what bond series, if any, when we're doing new bond series or new borrowing, and how we do that.
Okay.
So no matter what, if you wanted to proceed, we can always take out a 5-year bank loan and fund whatever projects you want to fund, if you don't want to do cash on hand. If you want to amortize this over 20 years, then we've got to go back to that old bond series and use that methodology.
Unless you do new bond
Unless
validation.
we, yes, unless we do a whole new validation under new methodology, so on and so forth.
But
So-
still, if you're going to do the short-term borrowing, you would still need to do a capital assessment methodology as opposed to the O&M assessment methodology for that, and go through that hearing process.
That would be utilized through our current methodology process.
It could be.
Yeah.
But you might have some items in here that were not considered in that $55 million too. If you have things that are not considered in there, we can't use that deal, as I understand it anyway, without getting a
That's right.
permission.
The only way you can is if you get bond counsel to say, it's a type of infrastructure comparable to this category, and you're not running far afield.
So in other words, it's got some latitude.
Interpretive.
There's a little bit of that, not a whole bunch.
Okay.
So it's subject to interpretation,
Well, yeah, depending upon the
subject to
scope of the work.
clarification.
Yeah.
Generally, again, I'm from a staff perspective, the MTI was very broad stroked, and we captured the majority of these Parks and Rec specifically. These things were captured as part of the MTI from my staff interpretation. But again, that is subject to bond counsel.
Any other questions on this
Okay,
one?
so for our next meeting, will we have a definitive answer to that, Tony?
Again, it all depends if we can get together, the four of us, between now and then. Chelsea, and have that call?
I guess, is that answer to that going to stipulate if you do proceed with these projects or not?
No. That'll just be information. But like Ed said, whether we're going to go 6 million on the commons amenities or not is,
There's bigger issues than,
I'm not willing to
yeah.
say no, like Bob is. I don't know.
We will get a meeting with bond counsel and have an answer for you before the next meeting. Now, also, PrAC has not given their 2 cents on the capital stuff, which you, if you recall at the joint meeting, you
We asked
guys,
them to do
you
that.
said 200K, let them figure.
Right.
And that may incorporate one of these, or it may be a net new, I don't know. They meet next week.
Well, we're looking at creating or calculating an assessment for next year. And this year, we were, what, 1,200 and change, somewhere around there, that we approved? We start looking at these numbers, that number is going to go up, and we're going to get hung if we don't watch out. We're going to get hung. The people are not going to willing to pay these costs for park and recreation, I can tell you that right now.
Well, and that's why we wanted to give you an itemized of
But we
these
need to know what
things.
they are.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Or if there's any added that you're
Yeah,
thinking
new
of,
items come up.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not on here that you don't see.
Because a lot of the cost of the big ticket items on there were ones that we're looking for to fall under that 50-75% capture of getting money back from either advertising or naming rights or whatever.
Right, a lot of variables.
Yeah, okay. Admin, can we make them all like this?
I'm not very needy, I guess. I don't know.
I just want to call out the fence along the frontage of Gateway Boulevard. I put that as administrative because it's really protecting the site. If you, I mean, that could go either way. You could push that to the parks category if you wanted to. That is a true estimate that I got. If you wanted to have fancy columns in between, the number is going to jump to $200,000. But if you want just a standard black fence, like it's literally the Pelican Preserve Emergency Access Gate fence. If you want that fence along the frontage of Gateway Boulevard, it's $55,000.
You mean just a
I think we'd like
standard
that.
6-foot-high black aluminum fence?
Yep.
I think we'd like that something a little prettier than that.
So then the number's going to go to 200K if you want columns like the.
But looking at it long
You mean like
range,
masonry columns?
if you're looking at it as long
Those are
range,
Nothing but a pain in the butt
we
to
want this to
maintain.
be emblematic of the way we view the community,
So again,
not a black chain link.
if you want to put it in admin or it can go in parks,
Right,
you could split the cost 50-50. It's up, I mean, I threw it in admin because I thought that was where it was better suited, but
But this is just along Gateway Boulevard?
Yes.
Not going back
Correct.
along Hampton Park
correct.
entrance?
Because there's a large landscaping buffer along Hampton we're going to
So
try to
it would go
maintain.
down to the entrance into the park or on past that, down toward the lake?
It would
Going
go.
south.
It would tie in to what will be the vehicle access of the commons. So it'll go, pretty much go to the lake.
It would just be to the south side of the road.
It'll pretty much tie into the lake, yeah, yeah.
the lake all the way up, right? Not just that little,
Just right there at the beginning. It's not going to go the entire length of the lake parcel. I can have that, but it's just going to add additional cost.
I don't see any reason to do that.
There's a fence
I
there
don't know, I
now
have to
that
see what I
stops.
think it looks like.
I'd tee it into the fence that goes back to the east.
If it's only gonna be a little stretch, then I don't really care what it is. I thought it was gonna be the entire expanse mirroring, the whole boulevard.
It is up to the entrance and then it would,
That's not that much distance.
it is
3,400 feet.
Is it really? I didn't know it was anywhere near that
beyond
much.
along the pond bank to tie
Easily
into
3,400.
Eagle Point.
Eagle Point's easy, 300, 400 feet.
Yeah.
Easy.
I can get a quote. I
All
mean,
right,
we
all
know
right.
what the linear foot price is,
All
so
right.
we can do the math. But if you want, my question to you is, would you like the columns or not? Because then I'll go back and I'll actually work on numbers of columns. My budget.
If it's a significant expanse, then I think we ought to have the columns. If it's just,
When you say columns, what kind of spacing are you talking about? Every 100 feet?
Yeah, that's what we were talking.
So if it's
And they would
100
tie
feet, there's
into the
1,500
monument
feet, so
then,
it'd be
yeah.
15 columns. I can't picture it being a big cost.
I guess I'm
10,
still,
I think it was like, swag number was 10K per, 10 to 15 per column. Because they'd be 6-foot columns.
So you go from 55 to 200,000.
That's what it came to.
So it quadruples the cost, basically.
So
as a-
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would recommend is I think we have three options. We have the chain link is, entry level. 2 would be maybe a wrought iron fence. And then 3 would be columns with, wrought iron or decorative in between, just so we can have a frame of reference on,
Doug,
what the cost is from A
Doug,
to
I
B.
didn't even contemplate chain link. I just went straight to black aluminum,
Yeah.
which is like the access road. And then black aluminum with columns is, so you're either at 55,000 or you're at 200,000.
Chain link will look like Alligator Alley.
I
Yeah, well, I didn't
even-
mean chain link. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant whatever you consider the base,
Black
acceptable
aluminum.
entry. So
Black
you're saying
aluminum.
there's not a middle ground on that. It's either this or that, correct?
I could find a middle ground if you guys had another community concept. I took Heritage Palms over off of 6 Mile as the example, but if you guys come up, have
I
something
think the
different.
issue is columns or not columns. That would be the
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah,
Well, because I mean, I think to Bob's point, this area will be a central point for Gateway as a whole.
Keep in mind, do we have a sidewalk going to be in front of that road
Yep.
on that side?
Yep.
Okay,
So the fence would be on the back of walk.
back of the walk, okay. I was going to say, if the sidewalk's going to remain to the other side and there's no
Yeah.
lateral deal, then all you're going to get to see it is road traffic going by at 60 mile an hour.
Yeah,
Can
but
we
they're gonna
have
slow
the
down to read
same,
our bulletin
Slow
board.
down to look at the
To look at the
sign,
bulletin
look at the
board.
Look at the sign, yeah.
can
or
we
the-
have
or
the
the
same
new
material
monument.
on the columns that we
bikinis.
have on the sign?
That was the plan, yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it would all tie in.
Could we have the same material on the columns that is on the sign?
So
that
you
we
guys,
approved
You
a
mean like
couple,
the stone?
yeah.
whatever that
it's-
was that we approved.
It was like a flagstone.
Right,
Yeah.
which is
So-
also supposed to be at the bottom of the building. The administrative building,
Well, if you
that
did-
lower,
But again,
Supposed to
that
be
would be
that.
just for the columns.
right.
You could do that.
And that
That
is-
will add
that
the
is-
cost, though.
No, that was the intent, and that was the number I
that
got,
was-
the
okay.
200K.
Anything else on this one?
So yes, then I would just plug the 200,000 in.
Can update that.
Next.
Yep, we got one more yet.
One more. Pelican, which we haven't heard from them yet, on everybody yet. But generally, we know,
But they don't have anything that they're not gonna cover through their O2 at this point in time.
to my knowledge, yet, correct.
That is correct.
So Ponds is contemplating Pond 21. Safety and Security meets next week, I think, or in a couple weeks, to talk about what of their roads that they want to do, big ticket items. And then,
What's the 250 for entrance monuments? What are the
It-
entrance monuments?
For the design of the entryway where they were talking about the refresh
If we sell
of
the
the
parcels.
monuments.
Oh,
if you want to take it full
okay, so
gamut,
that's just designing it. That's not the
Right.
actual
That would be the-
monuments,
design and permitting, construction, not up to,
construction.
If
yes.
the colonial stuff sales, then we got a bucket of money to do
So we
everything
plugged
else.
it in the event that you get through this,
Yeah, good.
they get through this conceptual, and that way you have a pot of money to start.
It should be. And I know the road cost came in first blush using the state's provider was
Counties.
three times what we were expecting.
So we're gonna
We're going back and-
competitively bid it.
Wasn't anywhere near what we have been paying.
If we sell the monuments.
What?
Tree line to the four-way stop.
Oh,
That little stretch came in
Yeah.
at almost 900,000 or 900,000 plus.
whoa.
And everyone was thinking more in terms of maybe 400,000. So we're
We're bidding it.
TBD.
Have we had any bites on buying those two parcels?
Yeah, PPAC, they get monthly updates. They've had a couple inquiries. They're gonna get an update next week.
No offers,
No offers yet, though.
but interest.
But if we do, what are you talking about entrance monuments? Is that,
To their community.
oh, not,
To turn
not
off of
those
tree
two,
line.
to other.
Right.
Correct.
locations.
At the present time, we only have a monument on the northern portion, southern portion.
Other portion.
And we might
pull in.
want
Okay, I
to
got
consider
you.
putting
You're
something.
talking about at the real entrance
Right,
into.
because tree line, when it was built, didn't go that far. People could only see our entrance one way.
So we call it front entrance or colonial entrance. That's how we refer to them.
Okay, gotcha.
But the intent with Pelican is if they sell those, then they have the money to do the things.
And the 250 is to at least have a design, an idea out there for what it would look like.
And this is,
If we then get the money from the
yeah,
other
this is
parcels.
pretty much updated because I met with Jim Latham yesterday. I don't know, all my days blur together. And then Safety and Security had their meeting a couple weeks ago. So these numbers are pretty current. This is from the last time that I talked to any of the chairs or the subcommittees. So they're, Mark didn't have anything, but this is pretty up to date.
So the 250 would be plural. There would be two signs, two
No,
monuments.
well, we're wide open, who knows? They might even want to redo the existing one at the entrance. We're going to leave that to a designer to tell us that's what they want to see. What are the options?
Was that sign installed initially?
Yes,
So it's what, 25 years old?
yes. And it's got two fountains, and it's got, some ponds and.
Anything else?
And I think these here, this is what we were talking about. Let me blow this up a little more. So this
This
is where it said
scatters the
we,
money by the accounts?
correct. So for utilities, for capital, we're looking at, 617. It was 7 million for SRF, which is meter project. And then we broke out here for public works between roads and waterway. And then by funding project, what we're asking for funding or thinking about how to fund capital bond, new bonds, and then there's capital bond, new bond, and then we have a grant / capital, because we'll have a portion that we'll have to cover for this. So this is just summarizes all of the stuff that you saw on the last pages. They broke it out by department, and then by silo inside of Public Works.
Thank you. This is useful.
And I have it all the way out through 2036, but it's pretty much not populated after 2031. So we just look at usually 5 years at a time.
Staff focuses on 5 years, but we do project out up to 10, but we focus on just what we can. Is there any projects that you can think of that we missed or that you've been contemplating that we can work on some numbers?
The only thing I saw that in reviewing, picking up the landscaping plan, that landscaping plan doesn't look like to me it addresses anything other than the entrance at Stony Brook, the Griffin Drive.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And nothing for the rest of Gateway Boulevard.
Correct.
And we're putting in all that new zone irrigation up and down Gateway Boulevard. And what's it going to be watering?
The existing.
Just what's there.
Yep.
Might be a big pill to swallow. It's what, 5 million, 5.5 million?
Big bucket to drink,
5.5.
Do what?
5.5.
5.5 million.
big bucket to drink,
I'm sorry?
big bucket to drink instead of a pill. It is irrigation.
What about drinking water, but I'm afraid it's going to be vinegar. There'll be a lot of people not going to be
Nobody's
happy about
drinking
that.
that water.
People aren't going to be happy about that. Okay. Anything else?
Do you have any cost expenditures that people are going to be happy about? I'd like to hear that.
If it benefits them,
Okay.
just like everything else in this country. Gimme, 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 gimme. Everybody wants a piece of the action.
So Ed, that brings up a good point, because at the last meeting, you guys said, the board said, if we proceed with this project to do the full gamut of the irrigation, which was the total of $5.5 million, and we have a shortfall. So an alternative funding source will be needed to complete that project unless you revert back and we only do a portion of said project. So again, that could either be through short-term bank borrowing or the bond series or a new bond if you want to change the methodology.
No grant money available for irrigation?
We applied for one and were rejected. So, I mean, we're always looking for new grant opportunities, but it's hard pressed when you're just doing like a retrofit of an existing system compared to like net new. But
You're going to be able to show a lot of savings to do it, to be able to get any points to be considered. If they come out and watch how much water we throw on the roads, they might consider it a need.
so one of the things, since we have a couple minutes, if nobody has anything, I'll just kind of dive into one or two of the topics here. One of the things, and I know Doug went out and looked at the lighting levels with a lighting vendor and took the photometric, the reads on what the soccer complex is and what it really should be per design standards. It was no surprise we fall well below the standards for multi-purpose fields. I did get a rough estimate from Musco, who is the name of the game, has the county's contract, they, so on and so forth. They have two options. The first option is a retrofit of the existing system. So basically the pole would stay the same. I mean, they might have to straighten. If you look out there, we got a couple leaning tower of Pisas. But they would straighten 3 of the poles, and then the horizontal fixture membranes, those would all be net new. And those, if we chose to do a retrofit, they only offer a 10-year warranty. If we chose to do everything new, they would offer a 25-year warranty. Obviously, that would be a lot more money.
Go new, will the height be the same as it is now? I thought that was an issue, that the height was a problem,
No.
that they needed to be higher.
No. To my understanding, no, it is not.
If they go all
Yeah,
new.
so the conversation I had, yeah, and I asked that same thing because I always felt like those lights were low. And the representative said the height is fine. What they do is they just adjust the cast. I don't know if that's even the right word to use, but that it would not be an issue. Now, if we were to go net new, they might raise them. I don't remember him saying exactly, but the current height of the poles would not be an issue, and it would not impact quality one way or the other.
So the retrofitting number is in here. It is well, the initial blush was around 800, but since then they've come down some. And again, that would be utilizing either a piggybackable contract or like Sourcewell or one of those state
And
projects.
it's what, in Parks and Rec?
Yes, it's field lights with control link, and that's that 775 number. So
What's
that is retrofitting.
Control Link is a
The
vendor?
app, how you would control the lights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a smart, like a smart node.
And basically, I think when I was talking to the guy, he said that it would be, he didn't see any problem with the retrofitting, as
Correct.
opposed to putting in new poles and go end to end. But my big thing was I didn't realize exactly how bad the condition was. I think I had brought it up that I thought there was some concerns, but when you looked at those numbers should be closer to the 35. I don't know if we have the.
We don't.
You know, so to put things in perspective.
Is this for all 5 fields?
Is all 5 fields, yeah. So you should be casting light, I'm just going to use this number at 35. On average, we were in between, I think 4 and 8. I think 12 or 14 might have been the highest that we registered, and that was standing directly in front of one of the lights. So we are not only significantly low, we are to a point to where it is so low.
Playing in the dark.
Yeah, it's really bad. So when I looked at it, of all the things that we've talked about at the fields, to me, lighting now becomes the priority.
When you were talking numbers, were you talking lumens? Is that what they're talking about? The lumens?
Well, the number was, I think he called it like 35 feet. I don't know if that's, I can't remember exactly, but it was 35 feet, but that's not the cast of the light. I think it's I don't know, it's range or something. I don't remember, but 35 was the number. 35 is optimal for recreational.
And we're 4 to 8?
Yeah, we were registering 4 to 8.
That's horrible.
Yeah, professional,
Oh,
like
that
if you
poor
go
woman
to
broke her
JetBlue.
ankle.
Yeah, if you go to JetBlue or you go to a college game or professional game, they're casting at a number of 50, but 35 to 40 is the number that is acceptable
Recreation.
for recreational or even high school level.
If you drive by either high school campus here, so the public high school or the charter high school at night, those are Musco lights. And so you'll be able to see the standard of those. And then if you drive by ours, see ours. So you'll be
Well, they're
able to,
banks of stadium type lighting. right?
those are comparable to ours. It's football, like a high school football game. So
And the other thing too, I'll just
You have the
add,
same like
because
racks and bulbs.
I
pretty
think,
much.
and there's one thing I'll add because I'm sure we'll get questioned on it. By increasing the quality and the brightness does not negatively impact the area around it. So if that
I
makes
think
sense. So it
that's
doesn't-
all directional now.
Yeah, it's
That's
all
not that big of a
directional.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Anything else?
What are we targeting for lighting on the pickleball courts in the?
We
The new
are
section.
meeting that standard, that IES, International Electrical Standard or
Which would be
something.
closer to 35 or 40?
Yeah, no, we're gonna meet that. We were required to meet that as part of our development order.
My vote is headlamps.
No. So we did a photometric analysis and we will
Headlamps.
meet the 30
She
to
wants
40.
portable
So
headlights,
it's much
Headlamps.
better than we got out here.
On your hat?
headbands,
Yeah, the headbands with the lights, yeah.
yeah.
Trying to
That might
save
have a
money.
light pollution problem for the people that are going to be.
No, to the point,
make the lawyers
with the new
rich.
stuff, it is so directional.
Directional.
And we had to, as part of the photometrics, we had to show, zero light level at the property line. So,
Okay.
Yeah, most counties have those code requirements that you don't have anything that
It's
crosses.
not going to be a zero as far as sound for the pickleball, but we'll be there for light.
Hearing that right now already. Okay, anything else?
well, one, just to expand, so if we're talking lighting, right? And Doug, I think you guys briefly talked about it when you were out there, is if you're gonna do lighting, putting those lighting, adding 2 more fixtures over the playground area, you might as well do it all at the same time. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna do lighting, you're gonna do it all. Don't leave the playground,
Without it.
without. And
Sure.
so that incorporates that number as well.
Okay.
K5, do they get water and sewer from
C5?
C5?
Okay.
C5, do they get water and sewer from
City.
Fort Myers or from us,
City.
city? Okay. Do
Everything
they,
on the west side of the road,
do
city.
they know that they are now, that the Parks and Rec facilities of Gateway are now available to them?
When we build them, we'll tell them. They know. We have had some dog park users come in, I believe. I don't know if we've had any pool passes that
I
were
don't know if they have
issued.
either.
Well, I asked because I was overhearing a conversation where the lady was complaining about they were promised a swimming pool by the developer, and no swimming pool ever came to them. In fact, it's just basically a park area now that they threw some grass in, and, they walk their dogs there and things like that. But,
We can try to reach out.
They got a big
So-
pond.
yes, they do.
Got a big pond.
They do have a big pond up
Some
front.
with the gators.
Yes. But anyway, is there any way that we could reach out to them and say,
Did you know?
did you know?
Yeah, we can do that.
Or maybe
Ask Randy.
in your newsletter, say, if you have any friends that are in C5, could
Yeah,
you
let 'em
let
know.
them know?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
they ought to be part of our distribution on the newsletter, right?
Send them all
As long as they sign up for it, yes.
Okay. Oh, they got, well, we need
Send
to
them all
tell
a
them.
pool fob.
Got to tell them or they won't know.
Right, because they get their water and sewer from Fort Myers, so they probably don't know.
Correct.
And usually, you would send it to where the bill goes.
Okay.
Well, except that they do have a line on their annual bill of Gateway.
Yep.
So somebody might want to know why
No,
they.
because it's all rentals. They don't see a property tax bill. It's
Good
all
point.
rentals.
Good point.
We can tell our friends at Lennar. to
So
share
they
the list.
don't,
They see it indirectly every 30 days.
well, yes. I mean, it's all built into their, their rental payments and all that sort of stuff, but they don't see a property tax bill. I bet you most of them have no
No
clue.
idea.
No clue, probably.
All right. We'll do
I
our
asked
best.
Randy.
We'll do
Yep.
our best to notify them.
Okay, so we're going to adjourn for 7 minutes till 3 o'clock meeting.
Alrighty.
Okey-doke.
Are we going to have more members here?